Good morning and welcome back to Apple Tree Allotment. Down here on Easter Sunday in the morning. It's about 8:30 in the morning. You can hear the church bells ringing in the village. We've already been up since before 6. The kids were up doing their Easter egg hunt in the garden. Very excited. So we've all been up for a long time, had breakfast, dressed and everything, and down the plot. We're all down here again today to come and do some jobs. We've got a few things to do. Everything's kicking off now. It's all in full swing now, isn't it? The planting, sowing season. So firstly, I brought down, I've got a big bag of grass clippings. I've mown the lawn a couple of times and brought those down, and I'm going to put those on top of the first early beds that we planted a week ago. Get them in. I did notice that the rabbits have done a bit of digging, so I don't think they've taken any potatoes, but I'll just double check they're all right, and I just need to pull out those stinging nettles that have grown up. The rest of the plots all springing up into life. It's amazing how quickly everything grows with a bit of sunshine. And I've also brought down more potatoes, so the rest of our potatoes. This morning in the garden we did, our eldest daughter got some potatoes called Rudolph, which are red potatoes. So we've planted them in a bed at home. I think there was about 10 seed potatoes in the bag. So yeah, she's planted those at home. She can look after them there and watch them. And then down here we've brought down our main crop and our second earlies. So we've got some King Edwards and some Maris Piper, our second earlies, and we've got our main crop are all Charlotte. So we've got 4 more bags to plant, and there was about, I think it was about 20 something in each box there. So yeah, lots of potatoes to plant, and hopefully that will fill up. I think the second earlies will fill those 4 beds, and then the main crops will fill those 2, and we might come over here, or maybe further up, maybe up the top. Yeah, we'll see what fits in where. So that's our main task for today: get the potatoes all in and get them going. And if we get time, or if the kids want to do it, I brought down some lettuce seed. Just get a few of those dotted around, and I brought down some flower seeds that I thought we might put in the tyres at the back once the daffodils die down. So I might spread out some of those. They're ready to go in now. So yeah, we've got some nice like cornflowers and poppies and daisies and things. Yeah, so that's today's jobs. I'm going to start getting this grass covered on these beds, just to give them a bit more nutrients and cover up the shoots as they come up. Yeah, and that will compost down quite quickly. I've been doing that for a couple of years, and that's worked really well. So yeah, I'll carry on doing that. I've spread out all the grass clippings over one of these beds of my first earlies and got those weeds out. So I haven't got enough for the other bed, so I'll have to mow the lawn more often. Maybe I'll get the allotment mower out and just do these paths. That might give me enough to put on some. But yep, the next job is to get these beds ready. These 4 beds, I'm going to put the second earlies in. So I was thinking of joining these together. I'm still not sure whether to do it or not. I might just leave them separate for this year. Now it's sort of running out of time, and plant them up. Can always do that next year. But yeah, I'm going to sort out this. It's got green manure in these beds at the moment that's just starting to really take off, actually, because I planted it quite late. So I'll dig that in, and that'll give it a bit of nutrients. That's the idea. And then I'll lay out all the potatoes and get them planted up. Got the first 2 beds ready. I just dug in the green manure. I just turned it over so it's just under the ground. Still trying to do no dig, so not digging it in too much, but just sort of turning it over. That seemed to work okay. and I've just laid out the potatoes. So this was one bag, and there's 13 in each bed, so 26 out of one bag. And these are Charlotte. I got them the wrong way around. They're actually the Charlottes are second earlies. So yeah, so I've got 13 in each bed of those. So I'm just going to bury them down as pretty much as far as they'll go, and then I'll top these beds up in the next week or so. I'll get some soil improver and some grass clippings and top them up as I go, and then I'll do the same with the next two beds. Got our 4 beds of second early potatoes in. So again, there was another 13 in each bed. Now on to the main crops. So I'm going to do these 2 beds at the back. I just need to move, there's a few self-set garlic bulbs in here, there's 4 I think. So I'm just going to move them over to the garlic beds and see if they carry on growing. I want to use this space for the potatoes, so nothing's lost really. So I'll get those in, and then I'll find another couple of beds for the rest. I've cleared this bed of the garlic, and actually they come out really easily, and went in the other garlic bed. So hopefully we'll get some bulbs out of them later in the year, in the end of the summer. So I'm just going to spread one of the bags, one of those 2 boxes out over these 2 beds, and see how many we can fit in. I've spaced out our first main crop potato bag. So we've got 12 in each of these beds, and we've actually left with another 12 still in the box. So I'm going to leave them like that because I want them to the potatoes to get nice and big, and I'll put those 12 in another bed. But yeah, we're going to have lots of beds of potatoes this year. So I'm going to get those dug in. Kids are helping to do the digging, so we'll get those buried and then find another bed for the rest of them. With the help of the kids, we've got all of the potatoes in. So we've got our first earlies we did last week in these 2 beds, these 2 long beds. We've got our second earlies in these 4 beds, and there's about 13, 14 in each of these beds. These back 2, we've got our first bag of main crops, and then sort of finding space, there was more than I expected in some of those bags. So we've got another second early in this first bed here, a main crop over there, and a main crop here. And then we did have our Charlottes that we saved from last year over the back here. So that leaves us with 4 beds of other stuff on this plot. So at the moment we've got our carrot bed that we're going to slowly fill up. Bed of chard. The chard is doing really well now. It's starting to perk up since I've put the fence around it to stop the rabbits and mice and everything. So yeah, we're sort of starting to get overrun with chard, which I guess is not a bad problem. I think we should need to give some of it away. We've got 2 beds at home like this as well, so yeah, we might need to rethink that and see what we need. This is the carrot bed over here. These we planted these last weekend, and they're starting to come up. So yeah, we've got a few in there. There's 2 rows in there at the moment, I think. And then the leeks from last year, since it started to warm up, they've started to perk up again. So until I need the bed for something else, I'll leave them and see how big they get. So yeah, so all our potatoes are in now here in home. Lots of beds this year. I'm hoping that we can get our year's supply of potatoes out of this plot. That's the goal. And what I'll do is, obviously the first earlies will come out first, and I'll just dig up the ones we need as we want to eat them. So come, where are we now? We're at April. So come sort of June, we'll start digging up some of the smaller ones, and we'll work our way through the beds and clear those out. and hopefully they'll store. Last year we stored some in the beds for quite a long time, and they stored really well. So we'll do some of that again. Over on plot 1, the onions are actually making a bit of a comeback since it started to warm up. They're definitely looking a lot healthier. I'll probably put some more soil around some of them where the rabbits have been digging, and give them a good water. But yeah, I'm happy with they've started to grow a bit more. And likewise, the garlic has massively grown this week, especially those ones at the back there. They're really tall. So yeah, I'm quite hopeful for a good harvest of those. I did move those. There was 5 in the end that I moved, and I just filled in the gaps here, the ones that hadn't grown. So yeah, we've got a really nice crop of garlic growing there this year. We did do quite well last year out of it. We had one little bed. So yeah, so hopefully we'll get some good bulbs this year. The strawberries I transplanted a few weeks ago now are all looking nice and green, looking happy in their beds, so looking forward to those. Raspberries are definitely, there's way more canes this year. I think they're really giving that extra mulch has really helped them, and they look a lot greener and happier this year. So yeah, I'm hoping they're gonna do really well this year. They're autumn raspberries, so they'll be later in the season, but they'll grow up over the next few months. And then the last thing we've got growing, this is the kids' bed over by their mud kitchen and play area. So they planted 2 rows of peas a few weeks ago, these ones, but they're doing really well, and it's nice to see they've been left alone by the rabbits and things. So hopefully they'll probably eat these as pea shoots rather than actually letting them grow out to peas. But yeah, that gives them something to nibble on while they're down here. It's nice to see something growing really quickly for them to appreciate something growing that they've done. And we'll fill this bed up with some other salad stuff that they can eat while they're down here. And when we come down for meals, nice to come down and sit here as a family and eat. And we can harvest a few salad bits from there. So that's everything that's growing at the moment. And we've got these three beds here ready for squash and pumpkins. I've got a few different types of squash this year I'm going to try, and courgette. So we'll be filling those up soon. So once we get into May, I'll get them out. We've got them growing at home on the windowsills. And at the back here, we've got our 3 sisters bed. So we've got I think I've got about 40 sweet corn plants growing at home. So I should fill that space up, and then pumpkin plants are going to go underneath it. And maybe I've got some butternut squash that I've just got going. So hopefully they'll maybe plant a few of those, 4 of those or something in there. Yeah, so everything's starting to kick off. Everything's starting to grow with this bit of heat, bit of sunshine. Nice and welcome to see everything kicking into life. And everyone else on all the other plots is getting busier down here now. Everyone's waking up from the winter and starting to get their plots looking ready. So that's nice to see. So I think we're probably done for today. We've got everything we need to do today in, and go home. I'm probably going to plant some more seeds, have a count up of what's come up at home, and sow some more seeds. But yeah, other than that, just a lazy Sunday, I think. Going to cook a roast, and yeah, enjoy the sunshine in the garden. I hope you're all keeping well and getting out on your plots if you can, and enjoying this lovely weather. And look forward to talking to you next week.